Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Camouflage of the World. I am Mike B, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Portuguese M64 lizard camo. So this is a vertical lizard design. There's usually two types of lizard designs. It's just this family of camouflage. It's not the official name. It's what collectors call it. And you got the vertical, which you see in front of you, and you've got the horizontal, which is more like the Greek and stuff. It kind of looks like tiger stripe in a way. But anyway, this is going to be a vertical one. So introduced it actually about 1963. There's a lot of colonial stuff going on with Portuguese colonies and former Portuguese colonies, and they were having to send troops there. And they got this pair, and there were so many variants of it between 1963 and 64. And this one's actually going to be a little bit later pattern. It's the same style, but it's going to be a later pattern. We'll get into that in a second. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So this was used, in Africa, and it became the standard uniform for the Portuguese military until I believe the 1990s or a little bit after that. So it features this purplish brown, which on the earlier models it was a little bit lighter colored, and it's got dark green stripes as well on a light green background. Now, the difference between the 1964, what you see in front of you in the original 1964, like the earlier ones made in the 60s, is the stripes or the patterns themselves are just a little bit less complicated and more defined than they were on the earlier versions. This is a really cool camouflage pattern. In my opinion, I think it's really neat. I'd love to test it out here, even though it might be a little bit odd, but it's very hard to find these in sizes bigger than 38-inch chest, which is like a small. But anyway, maybe someday. But yeah, so this is a really distinct pattern. This is what Portugal is known for. When you think of the Portuguese military, this is what people think of, this pattern right here. These shirts were available on the market widely, the size small and whatever, for many years, and now they're kind of seem to dry up. That's unfortunate. Most of these are printed on herringbone twill, which we'll look at in a second when we get a closer look. But yeah, this is, it's really aesthetically pleasing. It just looks cool. And the color scheme is very simple. It's a 3-color pattern. And yeah, all right, we'll go up and take a look at the cut of the uniform and get a close look at the material. It's actually a pretty simple cut. You get 2 breast pockets right there. No hip pockets, no nothing. This one's tailored to actually be tucked in. You can see the mannequin there, the old antique mannequin. Looks kind of weird at the bust or whatever it's called. But yeah, it actually looks like it's tailored and cut to be tucked in, which is pretty cool. But yeah, sorry about you can probably see some cat fur. It's just a matter of time. If I leave something laying around for long enough, it's just a matter of time before the cats lay on it and get it all full of cat hair. But anyway, so yeah, you can see the herringbone twill. This is one of my favorite kind of materials too. It's very strong, very comfortable. It's not a super heavy weight material, but it's not exactly light. It's just kind of a mid-range. But yeah, I think most of these, if not all of these uniforms, were made out of herringbone twill, which is a really cool choice. And the little 4-hole buttons right there that actually look like Bakelite, or they're probably plastic. Bakelite was expensive at that point. And the shoulder epaulets. This is a size 3, which is the biggest size I've ever seen, which is about like a 38 or 40-inch chest. Some of these are, or most of these are really small. But yeah, you can see it's a very simple pattern too. The more simple you get on a pattern, generally the more effective it becomes in more environments. That's not a fact, that's just my opinion. I do like you can see that this stuff was kind of influenced by the brush stroke patterns starting in World War II. But they just were refined a little bit, and you can see the dots and stuff and the little designs. Just an overall really sweet pattern. Again, this is what Portugal is known for. So, all right, we'll wrap the video up. Overall, great pattern. The only complaint I have is that surplus in this is really hard to find in human sizes. They're all really small size, which is great for kids and smaller people, but not for me. I require a size extra fat, and I can only find size extra small, so it doesn't really work out now, does it? But anyway, someday hopefully we'll be able to get one of all these patterns that are woodland, and I can be able to test them up here in the Nordwoods of Wisconsin. But until then, we're just gonna have to stick with this little video. This is just meant to be kind of a quick field identification guide that, if you see something at a flea market or thrift store or something out in the wild is what I call it, you can be able to identify the pattern. You're like, oh, it's Portuguese M64. So that's kind of why I make these videos. This pattern itself is pretty self-explanatory. I think we've gone through it. Just wanted to get you familiar with it. So now you know, the more you know. So anyway, if you like this video and you want to support the content that I make and support the channel in general, there are 2 ways to do that. The first way is there's a link to my Patreon in the description, and that really helps. And now YouTube's actually allowing me to have memberships for my channel after not allowing me for several years, and I don't know why. But anyway, either way, it directly supports the channel, and Patreon starts at $1 a month, and then $5 a month or more on either platform or either support method gets you into the Discord server, which is pretty fun. It's pretty interactive. We have a lot of good discussions on there, a lot of good information exchange, and then we kind of have fun on there too. So there's that. And crowdfunding basically just helps me be able to get cool things like what you're seeing in front of you, and doing helmet ballistic tests and our body armor ballistic tests, and just shooting videos in general, acquiring new items to make videos about, to teach you. So wow, that was a really north, like about. I was trying to put emphasis on there, but I was almost out of breath. That's why it kind of sounded like that. No, I don't live in Fargo or Brainerd. So anyway, got off the rails. I just thought I could do one video without going off the rails. Anyway, we'll get back to it. So yeah, it just helps me be able to make more content than I would otherwise just funding out of pocket. So if you can't support the channel financially, that's totally fine. I totally get that, not a problem. Just, I really do appreciate you watching, and make sure you interact with the video, like hitting the like button. That actually does matter, apparently, algorithmically. So anyway, hope you learned something. Hope these videos are helpful, and I do appreciate you watching for the 10th time, and I actually do. That's why I say that so much in videos. So thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode of Camouflage of the World.